I'm Susan English, and I am the Historical Museum Coordinator for the Village of Addison. Last time we discussed the PA Sturtevant Company and their torque wrench production. Today I would like to talk about Mr. Sturtevant's other company, the Miniature Train and Railroad Company. Around 1928, P.A. Sturtevant designed a model train for his son Lee. It was a scale model Chicago Northwestern steam engine. He laid track around his home in Elmhurst so his son Lee could pilot the train. It drew the admiration of both children and adults alike. Reportedly, P.A. spent $15,000 on developing and building this train. In 1932, a Sears and Roebuck executive who had learned about Sturtevant's train invited him to run the train at his downtown store in Chicago during the Christmas holidays. It was a sensation. Shortly thereafter, the Miniature Train and Railroad Company was formed, and trains began to be produced in a machine shop in Glen Ellen, Illinois. In the mid-1930s, Sturtevant came out with streamline engine models patterned after the famed Zephyr and E1 locomotives. In 1935, PA brought his brother-in-law, Richard Robertson, in to overseeing train operations so he could focus on his other business interests. In 1936, both the steam train and the Zephyr were exhibited at the Elmhurst Centennial Celebration. Due to the popularity of the Streamliner model, further production of the steam version was discontinued. By the 1940s, 13 stores from the East Coast to the Midwest were leasing trains from the Miniature Train and Railroad Company. Around this time, the Addison plant at 120 East Lake Street was acquired. The G12 trains were built there and became known widely in the field as the Addison trains. This rare 1942 advertisement of the Miniature Train and Railroad Company from the museum's archive collection shows photos of behind-the-scenes production of the trains. The building pictured in the center top row is of the former Craigie Garage, which was closed in 1941 and was subsequently leased by the train company as it expanded. During the war, 4 to 5 million children were riding the company's trains, which were leased to over 30 stores and sold for use in carnivals and fairs across the nation. In 1943, production was temporarily suspended. In 1946, a newer, larger train called the G16 was introduced. It was modeled after a GM locomotive. In 1948, Sturtevant built a new plant on property he acquired in Rensselaer, Indiana, and he transferred all of his production there. The company was renamed the Miniature Train Company and continued to produce trains for amusement parks and zoos all across the country. It no longer leased trains to stores. In 1956, the company was sold to the Allen Herschel Company, the world's largest producer of amusement park rides, and production was moved to New York. In 1960, the Herschel Company became a division of Wiesner Rapp of Buffalo, New York. Trains were continued to be manufactured under the Miniature Train Company name, however, until 1963. Newer and larger gauge 24 trains replaced the G16 models. In 1970, the Herschel Company was purchased by Chance Rides Manufacturing of Wichita, Kansas. In 1997, much of the former Herschel Company was sold to the Carousel Society of Niagara Frontier. Today, it operates as a nonprofit subsidiary and it services Herschel amusement rides across the nation. You can learn more about the history of Addison by visiting the Addison Historical Museum. The museum is located at 135 West Army Trail Road. The museum is open Wednesday and Friday afternoons between noon and 4 p.m. Admission is free.